Hey everyone, and welcome back. So you know how you've probably noticed your coffee getting, well, a little more expensive lately.
Yeah, it's definitely been a topic of conversation. A lot of
Mhm.
people are noticing.
Exactly, and we're going to get into all that. So today, we're going to, really take a deep dive into what's going on with coffee prices. We're looking at a recent news article about it all.
Oh
And
yeah, some really interesting stuff there.
yeah, so get this. Coffee prices are at like an all-time high. And we're talking higher than even back in the 70s when, Brazil had that crazy snowstorm.
Yeah, I remember reading about that. Yeah. It's pretty wild.
It is. So let's jump in. Okay. The article, it mentions both Arabica and Robusta beans, which are like the main types of coffee beans. They've both hit record prices.
Right, yeah.
Arabica specifically is at like $3.44 a pound.
Yeah, which is like an 80% jump just this year.
80%.
Yeah, it's a massive increase.
Wow, that's huge. That's no wonder it's hitting our wallets.
And then Robusta, that also set a new high. Just back in September.
So, like, what's going on? Why is coffee so expensive right now?
Right. Yeah. Well, the article, it points to a couple of things.
Okay.
The first one is the weather. And they talk specifically about Brazil, which is like the biggest coffee producer in the world.
Right.
And they got hit by like their worst drought in 70 years. And then right after that, they got a ton of rain. It was not good for the coffee crops.
So that's going to affect the 2025 crop too.
Exactly. Yeah, potentially.
Okay, but like, haven't there been, advancements in like coffee farming?
Yeah.
You think that would like help? Right.
Yeah, there definitely have been improvements, with like irrigation and things like that. But you got to think about the scale of these weather events. It's so massive that, even with those advancements, it's tough to totally like make up for the damage.
All right.
But it's not just about supply, right? It's
Yeah.
also about demand. Global demand for coffee, it's soaring.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Coffee's like the world's second most traded commodity.
Second. Wow. I always forget that.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
And I remember reading something about China, like their demand for coffee is like skyrocketing.
Totally. Over the past decade, it's doubled. As the middle class in China grows, their tastes change and coffee is becoming really popular there. So that increase in demand combined with the supply problems, it creates kind of like a perfect storm for these high prices.
Yeah, it's like less coffee, more people who want it. Bad combination.
Right.
So, okay, we all need our coffee, right?
Mhm.
So what's this going to mean for us? Like, will the brands we buy, will they be able to, keep prices down?
Well, the big companies like JDE Peet and Nestle, they've been absorbing these higher costs for a while.
So basically taking the hit.
Yeah, probably to keep customers happy and avoid losing them to competitors.
Makes sense.
But it looks like that might be changing.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the article says they're looking at raising prices and maybe even making those packages a little smaller in 2025.
Right.
Shrinkflation, right? It's
Yeah.
like the price is the same, but you get less. Sneaky.
Exactly. It happens all the time when costs go up.
Yeah, I guess so. It's just, not ideal for the consumer.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's another thing. Global coffee inventories are really low.
Inventory.
Yeah, it's like the world's reserve of coffee. They use it to balance out any shortages.
Mhm.
And when those inventories are low, it puts even more pressure on prices.
So it's like everything's kind of working against cheaper coffee right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so to recap, we're looking at higher prices, smaller packages, and, the supply and demand issues. Those aren't going away anytime soon.
Yeah.
Sounds like our coffee routine might be in for a shock. But it makes you think, right? Like, will people actually, like, drink less coffee because of the price?
It's an interesting question.
Or will they just, grumble and pay more?
Yeah, yeah.
And what will this do to, the global coffee market in the long run?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Definitely.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Okay.